Hello, so I have something special planned for today. I thought it would be fun to go through all of the games that I currently have in my collection as of April 2025. I did a Super Nintendo collection previously, and I did start to do a video for my collection where I went system by system, but I did feel like something was missing in the video as I went through it because I was actually showing each game one at a time on camera. And part of what I like about these kind of videos is just to see all the collection together. So I thought I would try to reformat the idea of this video by just going through the drawers exactly as they are. So it might look a little bit messy, it's not too organized, but I feel like that's part of the charm of having a collection, is just kind of having it exactly the way that it is, or as it appears in my collection anyway. So let's jump right in. So I had to pull these bins out of the closet so I didn't have to film this in a dark corner. But we're going to start right here with the NES and N64 drawer. And I don't really like having these games sitting on top, but I don't really have a whole lot of room to put them anywhere else. So we're just going to move that out of the way. And move at least one of these out too, just to make it a little easier to pull some of these out. But yeah, so we've got the shiny Legend of Zelda card, Mega Man 2, Mega Man 6, Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Contra, can't go wrong with that, Super C, Contra Force, that's a rare one, Gradius, Gradius 2, and that's a reproduction, Life Force, Blaster Master, Bionic Commando. Let me pull this out just a little bit more. Strider, Load Runner, Donkey Kong Classics, and Little Nemo the Dream Master. And of course I've got this funny Super Contra 7 cart. It's actually a strange game that was made in China, I think. You'd have to check it out yourself. Kid Icarus, Guerrilla War, Kirby's Adventure, and Ice Climber. Well, moving on to the Nintendo 64 portion of this drawer, and right off the bat we've got Smash Remix on a cartridge. We found this one on Etsy. Pretty addictive, I would say. Yoshi's Story, Toy Story 2, Mario Kart 64, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, Wave Race 64, Killer Instinct Gold, Diddy Kong Racing, Bomberman 64, The Second Attack, probably one of the other more expensive 64 titles, Mario Party 3 with the funny Blockbuster label. I really like it, I just kind of think it's vintage, you know, clearly came from the 90s. Of course most of these games did anyway. Here's an all-time favorite, Jet Force Gemini, Perfect Dark, Bomberman 64, that's another favorite of mine, Bomberman Hero, Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64, Army Men Sarge's Heroes, and of course we've got classic Super Smash Bros. You can't go wrong with that. Mischief Makers, sadly the label's torn, that's just how I found it. Used at GameStop. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Doom 64, that's an excellent game. Duke Nukem 64, and of course Donkey Kong 64 with the yellow cartridge. Alright, digging in a little deeper. We've got GoldenEye, obvious classic. I'm gonna refrain from saying that too much, of course. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Let's see here. Mega Man 64. I used to have Legends. I think a friend borrowed it, or brother-in-law, and it just kind of disappeared. Rayman 2, The Great Escape. Quake. Yep, Quake 64. Some might say. Quake 2. And Body Harvest. I could really stand to explore that one a little bit more. Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. A nice catchy soundtrack. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Duke Nukem 0 Hour. I actually was surprised by that one. I thought it was pretty fun. Xtreme G. Conker's bad for a day, and obviously it's a bad day for the label. And Resident Evil 2. A pretty impressive port. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask with that fun lenticular label. Yeah. Alright. Well, that's it for that top drawer, so I'm moving on to the Super Nintendo games now. Alright, so right off the bat we've got Super Game Boy, and of course you can see I have a Link's Awakening stuffed in there. The Game Boy Color port. Rendering Ranger R2. There's going to be a lot of reproductions in here. Of course that was never released here. Aero Fighters. Killer Instinct, the original. One of my favorite fighting games, actually. Mortal Kombat 2, with the fun Blockbuster label. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Wild Guns. Pretty cool, that one's got a Switch port these days. Tetris Attack. The Magical Quest. Hyperzone. Think of it as a love child between F-Zero and Star Fox. Run Saber. This is kind of like Strider, I would say. Hook. UN Squadron. Earthbound. So I used to have the original cart, but that one's a reproduction, sadly. Artie Lightfoot. Pirates of Darkwater. Arrow the Acrobat 2. An American Tail, Fievel Goes West. And we've got The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Final Fight Guy. Final Fight 2. I used to have the original. Final Fight 3. And of course, Space Megaforce. Alright, moving on to the next aisle. Wario's Woods. Stunt Race FX. Funny little game. A little bit janky, but I still like it. Make sure these don't fall over. Metal Warriors, very poor label, obviously, but it was affordable. Castlevania Dracula X, poor label, also affordable. A Ninja Gaiden trilogy. And, oh, hold on. Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals. Got this from Game Addicts in Oceanside. I think a couple games still have that. Turtles in Time. Sunset Riders. Knights of the Round. Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. Just a moment. Battletoads and Double Dragon. And Batman Returns. A lot of fun beat-em-ups here, obviously. Soul Blazer. Super Turrican. Super Turrican 2. Slightly torn, sadly. And this is probably the most expensive game I have, Hagane, The Final Conflict. Prized possession, I would say. Super Mario Kart. And of course I've got the Star Fox 2 reproduction cart. This was before they put it on the SNES Classic and NSO. And Terranigma. Once again, this was not released in the United States. Goof Troop. It's a really good one. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim 2. Toy Story. Spider-Man and X-Men. Midway Arcade's Greatest Hits. The Great Circus Mystery. It's kind of a continuation of a Magical Quest. Alright. ActRaiser. Indiana Jones' Greatest Adventures. Super Star Wars. Super Empire Strikes Back. Super Return of the Jedi. And Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Alright, that about does it for the second drawer. Now moving on to the last Super Nintendo drawer, down here. Got Mega Man and Bass. Super Bomberman with an alternate label. Super Bomberman 2. Darius Twin. SimCity. Super R-Type. F-Zero. Animaniacs. Of course, Doom with the red cartridge. Always looks cool. Blackthorn. Aladdin has the Hollywood Video stickers on it. Sparkster. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Alright. The Lion King. Contra 3 The Alien Wars. That's an all-time favorite, for sure. XLA, another early favorite. Gradius 3. Super Castlevania 4. Cybernator. Desert Strike. Jungle Strike. Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong Country 3. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I used to have the original. Mega Man X. Mega Man X2. Mega Man X3, it's another all-time favorite. Mega Man 7. Alright, moving on to these ones down here. Super Mario RPG. Star Fox. Super Metroid. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Yoshi's Island. R-Type 3, The Third Lightning. Super Mario World. Super Mario All-Stars. Mario is Missing. Funny little game. Mario Paint, and I still have the mouse for it too. Kirby Superstar. Maui Mallard and Cold Shadow. Super Buster Brothers, very underrated. Super Off-Road, the Baja. Miss Pac-Man, a little bit torn. Mickey Mania. Jurassic Park. Kind of a painful game.
I gotta tell you, too much pain.
Jurassic Park Part 2, The Chaos Continues. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Final Fantasy 2, which is actually 4. And Final Fantasy 3, which is actually 6. Chrono Trigger. Secret of Mana. Secret of Evermore. Illusion of Gaia. And just a couple more back here. Lord of the Rings. Actually a terrible game. Shadowrun. And that about does it for the bottom drawer. Now moving on to the PlayStation drawer, pretty much. And the funny thing here is I only have one game for the PSP, and that game is Gradius Collection. Pretty good one, I'd say. Tony Hawk's Underground for the PS2. And of course Metal Gear Solid. Of course it has that little hint on the back. Pretty crazy. Buster Brothers Collection. Nice shiny label. Strider 2. I like that it comes with the first one as well. Crash Team Racing. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot 2. Crash Bandicoot Warped, which is the third game. Rayman. Spyro the Dragon. Tekken 3. Duke Nukem Time to Kill. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Croc Legend of the Gobos. And moving on here, Sky Gunner. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Gradius 3 and 4. Gradius 5. Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. R-Type Final. Gran Turismo 3. Mega Man Anniversary Collection. That's the OG. Alright. Mega Man X Collection. Contra Shattered Soldier. Neo Contra. Shadow the Hedgehog. I think this one's gone up quite a bit. I didn't have to pay that much for it. Alright, Neopets, The Darkest Fairy. Actually quite underrated. Dragon Ball Z Budokai. And this one, Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. Ratchet Deadlocked. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Come on here. Street Fighter Alpha Anthology. Metal Slug Anthology. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. And Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2. So that's it for the top drawer. Now moving on to the GameCube drawer. So here we've got Armorines for the Game Boy Color. And I've got Metroid complete in the box. I think my sister found this one at a thrift store for just $2. Pretty darn good. That was a long time ago though. Resident Evil for the GameCube. No case, sadly. That's okay. Got the disc for the Game Boy Player. pretty useful to have. Got a few right here. Contra 4 for the Nintendo DS. Star Fox Command. And Animal Crossing New Leaf for the 3DS. Got the boxed Bram Stoker's Dracula. The box is pretty beat up, but it was affordable. Mercs for the Sega Genesis. Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox Assault. Super Smash Bros. Melee. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Really love that cover art. So shiny, colorful. Resident Evil 4. And here's my second most expensive, Go-Go Hyper Grind. Actually really like that one. Super Mario Sunshine. Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door. And straighten these out just a little bit. Keep falling over. Mario Party 4. It's in a replacement case. Did a bad job printing the art. Mario Party 5. Sonic Adventure. Pretty cool to have this one. And Sonic Adventure 2. I had to print this art too, but I once again did a terrible job. It was an alternate artwork I found online. I thought it would be kind of cool to use. Sonic Mega Collection. Sonic Gems Collection. Ikaruga Treasure, or otherwise known as Our Frothing Demand for This Game Increases. Beautiful Joe. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Just a few games for the Nintendo Wii in here. Mario Kart Wii. Still got both the steering wheels for it. And new Super Mario Bros. Wii. And that about does it for that drawer. And now moving on to this last one here, we have quite a few Xbox titles and a few PS1 games. So I've got a few demo discs here for the Xbox. I think I used to have one more. It actually had a trailer for Ninja Gaiden. Don't know what happened to it. But anyway, and of course I've got Contra Adventure. Obviously I bought this from Game Crazy, that just kind of came in that case. And Counter-Strike for the Xbox. That Greatest Hits, silver casing. Mega Man 8. Label art was printed off. Atlantis, The Lost Empire, that one actually belongs to my sister. Darkstalkers, this one's missing a manual, sadly. A couple PC games here. Atomic Bomberman. I still really love that one. Captain Quasar. Never been able to get that one running properly. And of course, before I forget, Mega Man X4. Had that one sitting out somewhere else. And following that, Mega Man X5. Final Doom. Dino Crisis 2. I think that one's gone up quite a bit. 1. Apocalypse. Yeah, it's got Bruce Willis, obviously. MDK. Kind of fun run and gun games. Speaking of which, Metal Slug 3 on the Xbox, that was one of my first. Metal Slug 4 and 5. Army Men, Sarge's War. Conquer Live and Reloaded. I used to play the multiplayer all the time back then. Ninja Gaiden. I love this game. And Ninja Gaiden Black. An even better version. One of my all-time favorites. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Outcast. Halo 2, of course. At least one of the Halo games. Move this just a little bit. Doom 3, Resurrection of Evil. Pretty cool, it comes with the first two games as well. Bloody Roar Xtreme. Pretty cool fighting game. Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix 3. I used to have the dance pad for that one. Advent Rising. Very underrated game. Let me move these over just a little. Dead or Alive Ultimate comes with the first two games bundled together. It's pretty good. Time Splitters 2. Time Splitters Future Perfect. And then I've got Gears of War, starting up with some 360 titles. Gears of War 2. Gears of War 3. And Gears of War Judgment. Red Dead Redemption. Both my brother and sister really love this one. And last but not least, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And that about does it for the last drawer here. However, there is one more drawer I'd like to show here. Now this one's got quite a few games for different consoles, including some handhelds. So as you can see, there are quite a few Switch games here, but I'm going to start with the two Super Famicom games I have sitting right here. Of course, starting off we have Rockman X3. Of course, I love that one enough I had to buy it again. Kirby's Dream Land 3. Alright, and we've got Wrecking Crew for the NES. And Karnov. So those are the last NES games I have here. Oh, except, yeah, there's one more, I suppose. Oops. And of course I've got Doom for the PlayStation in the long box. Pretty cool. But yeah, the actual last NES game is Pac-Man, which is complete in box. Pretty cool. Very shiny. And now Contra Hardcore for the Sega Genesis. Gunstar Heroes. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Absolute must-have for the Sega Genesis. Rocket Knight Adventures. Oh yeah, and of course Mercs. We did see that earlier in the box, but I keep it in this drawer. Mega Turrican. Alien Soldier, and this is a reproduction, of course, since this game was never released in the United States. Strider, once again. Dynamite Heady. And Ranger X. Oh, and it looks like there's one more. It's hiding from me. 6-pack. Kinda torn, but game still works. Yeah. Kind of a messy drawer, honestly. But it's kinda hard when you're running out of room. Mario Party 2. Paper Mario. Really gotta get back to that one, actually. Pokemon Snap. That one belongs to my sister, actually. Pokemon Stadium. Also sisters. Bust-a-Move 2 Arcade Edition. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The nice gold cartridge. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Rampage. Game kinda looks like it's been on a rampage. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. It's probably one of my favorite Star Wars titles. And WrestleMania 2000. And of course, Robotron 64. I believe that's the last 64 title I have. And now, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. I've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection. Contra Operation Galuga. Very happy to have that one. Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Super Mario Odyssey. Capcom Fighting Collection. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Super Mario RPG, an all-time favorite. Contra Anniversary Collection, tons of replay value. Okami. Metroid Dread. No, my friend always gets on me about finishing that one. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mega Man 11. Contra Rogue Core. Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. Pretty cool to have it all in one package. Starlink. And A Hat in Time. Really been meaning to get back to that one. It's actually a really fun game too. And this last set of games is mostly Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. So I've got this nice green carrying case I've had for many years. We've got Wario Land 3, Mega Man Xtreme, and Metroid 2 Return of Samus. And the next row is Wario Blast, Bomberman Game Boy, and Super Mario Land 2. And then of course Contra the Alien Wars, Operation C, and Donkey Kong. And then the last row, Super Mario Bros. Deluxe, Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons, and Oracle of Ages. Pretty good set right there. And now moving on to the Game Boy Advance set. We have Contra Advance. We played that one way too many times to count. Super Mario Advance. Donkey Kong. Never get tired of that one. Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Dawn of Souls. Star X. It's about as close as I could get to something that was like a Star Fox Advance. Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario World. Look at the big carts here. I have Perfect Dark. And Pokemon Pinball. And they both have the Rumble feature, which is pretty cool. Alright, starting in this long row of games. Metroid Zero Mission. Metroid Fusion. Mega Man Zero. Mega Man Zero 2, I'm not sure why the label looks that way. Mega Man Zero 3. Mega Man and Bass, once again. Mario Kart Super Circuit. Mario Party Advance. Namco Museum. The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past 4 Swords. Rayman Advance. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival. Metal Slug Advance. And Wario Land 4. I think that was the second game I ever got for the Game Boy Advance. Now let's look at these two down here. Whoops, I'm dropping that one. Gradius Galaxies. It's another early one. And Bomberman Tournament. This was the very first game I ever had for the Game Boy Advance. Still a really good one too. Gunstar Superheroes. Pac-Man Collection. Astro Boy Omega Factor. Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I'm not sure why the label looks so faded. Bomberman Max 2 Red Advance. That was literally $1. And Doom 2. Pretty cool to have that one on the go. Sonic Battle. Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Castlevania Double Pack, which comes with Aria of Sorrow and Harmony of Dissonance. Sonic Advance. I'm sure you know what's coming next. Sonic Advance 2. And Sonic Advance 3, right here. And last but not least, Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland. Last set of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Tetris. Super Mario Land. Wario Land. Mole Mania. Game & Watch Gallery 2. Game & Watch Gallery 3. And the last couple of games here. Of course, we saw the box for this one earlier, Armorines. And Spy vs. Spy. So right away we have Animal Crossing New Leaf. I'm sorry if this gets really out of focus, I'm not sure what that's about. But yeah, you saw the case for that one earlier. And we've got Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. Very sorry about the focus. I guess it's just really small and hard to focus on. These games get so small over the years. Star Fox 64 3D. Mario Kart DS. Solitarobo Red the Hunter. It's a very rare game, actually. Super Mario 64 DS. New Super Mario Brothers. WarioWare Touched. And Star Fox Command. I did show the case for that one earlier as well. And last but not least, we have the PC games with Doom Collector's Edition. Got the whole set here. And I also keep the master levels within the same box, just to keep it all in one place, you know? Keep it organized. I've got Doom here, surprisingly. Quake 4. Quake 2, the big box. Pretty cool to have these classic PC boxes. And Half-Life, a big box. Nice and clean, actually. It's got that fold out as well. I'll try to open it. You see all that gruesome violence, I guess. And last but not least, Big Brain Wolf. I had to get imported, thanks to a friend who actually pointed me to the listing. Nice artwork inside. It's got that serious face.
Oh my god!
I almost forgot to do these last few games for the PS1. I have them disc only in a CD case, but I have here Contra Legacy of War, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. And for the Xbox Series X, we have Rare Replay, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and Way of the Hunter. And that about does it. I hope you had fun watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.